It all started with a tip-off, a whisper about a little car, tucked away and forgotten for decades, gathering dust in the shadows of a sleepy town. Down a quiet lane in Kerala, I found an old garage, its presence almost hidden by overgrown plants and the passage of time. The wooden doors creaked open, letting in a sliver of the bright Indian sun, illuminating secrets that had been locked away for years. There she was, a Maruti Suzuki 800, the car that put India on wheels and became a symbol of freedom for millions. Its compact frame and unmistakable silhouette brought back a flood of memories from a different era. But this one had seen far better days, buried under layers of dust, rust, and years of neglect. The once vibrant bodywork was now a canvas of faded paint and corrosion, telling its own story of abandonment. The red paint was faded almost to pink, the tires flat and brittle, and the interior was a mess of torn seats, cracked plastic, and forgotten trinkets. Every inch of the car seemed to echo the passage of time. Yet, beneath the decay, I saw potential, a piece of history waiting for a second chance. The badge on the bonnet still gleamed faintly, hinting at the pride it once carried. I imagined the families it carried, the laughter and conversations that filled its cabin, the countless journeys it made across bustling cities and quiet villages. These worn-out seats could tell stories of childhood memories, road trips, and milestones. This wasn't just a restoration, it was a rescue mission. I felt a responsibility to revive not just a car, but a piece of our collective past. The challenge was massive, with years of wear and neglect to undo. But the thought of bringing this classic back to life, of seeing it drive on the roads again, was all the motivation I needed. I opened the driver's door, took in the musty air, and ran my hand over the dusty steering wheel. In that moment, I made my decision. This car deserved another shot at life. This Maruti was coming home with me. I could already picture the transformation, the journey from forgotten relic to restored icon. Time to get this wheeler-dealer project on the road. The adventure was just beginning, and I couldn't wait to see what surprises lay ahead. Back at the workshop, the real work began with the teardown. This was the moment where the car's true condition would be revealed, layer by layer, as each part was carefully removed. The process was both exciting and daunting, as no one could predict what surprises might be lurking beneath the surface. Seats, carpets, dashboard, and headlining, all stripped out, revealing a floor pan riddled with rust. Years of use and neglect had left their mark, and the extent of the corrosion was even worse than expected. Every inch of the interior was inspected, searching for hidden damage and weak spots that would need attention. Every part was labeled and stored, ready for restoration or replacement. Organization was key. Each nut, bolt, and trim piece was catalogued to ensure nothing would be lost in the chaos of the rebuild. This careful system would save countless hours later on. On the outside, bumpers, lights, and trim came off, each piece telling its own story. Some parts bore the scars of minor accidents, while others had faded from years in the sun. Every removed component was a reminder of the car's long journey and the life it had lived. Up on the lift, the undercarriage showed years of monsoon damage and corrosion. The metal was pitted and flaking in places, evidence of water and time working together to eat away at the structure. It was clear that restoring this car would require more than just cosmetic fixes. The engine was next, disconnected, unbolted, and hoisted out, leaving an empty bay and more areas needing attention. With the heart of the car removed, the team could finally assess the true scale of the mechanical work ahead. Every hose, wire, and mount was checked for wear and damage. With the car now a bare shell, every dent, scratch, and spot of rust was exposed. The bodywork told a story of years on the road, of bumps, scrapes, and the relentless march of time. Nothing was hidden anymore. The car's flaws were laid bare for all to see. The full extent of the work was clear. Serious metal work, a complete engine rebuild, and every component needing care. It was a daunting list, but also a roadmap for the restoration ahead. Each challenge was an opportunity to bring the car back to life, stronger and better than before. The journey was just beginning, but the first crucial step was complete. With the car stripped to its bones, the team could finally see the scale of the task ahead and start planning how to bring this classic back to its former glory. Now for the mucky part, dealing with the rust. The worst spots were in the floor pans, doors, and wheel arches. We cut out the rotten metal, sparks flying, until only solid steel remained. New metal patches were fabricated and welded in, restoring strength and shape. Welds were ground smooth, then body filler was applied and sanded to perfection. The entire car was sanded down, removing old paint and prepping for primer. The workshop filled with dust, but the tin worm was finally defeated. The Maruti was now a patchwork of bare metal and filler, ugly, but solid and ready for the next stage. While the bodywork continued, we tackled the engine, a tired 796cc 3-cylinder. Stripped down to the last bolt, every component was inspected. Worn piston rings, scored bearings and perished gaskets were replaced. The block and head were cleaned, bores honed, and the head skimmed for a perfect seal. Reassembly was meticulous. New bearings, pistons, rings, and gaskets. Ancillaries like the water pump, oil pump, and timing belt were all new. The carburetor and distributor were rebuilt. The engine, now clean and fresh, was ready to power the Maruti for years to come. With metalwork done and the engine rebuilt, it was time for paint prep. Etch primer sealed the bare metal, followed by high build primer to fill imperfections. Block sanding made the body perfectly flat, then wet sanding gave a silky smooth finish. Every inch was masked off: windows, jambs, engine bay, ready for the spray booth. The car was now a flawless grey canvas, prepped for its dramatic transformation. The car entered the spray booth, ready for its new look. A vibrant, fiery red base coat was applied in even layers, building up rich color. Each pass brought the Maruti back to life, the grey primer vanishing under glossy red. 3 coats later, it was time for the clear coat, adding depth, shine, and protection. The transformation was instant. The red popped, the gloss was mirror-like. After baking overnight, the Maruti emerged gleaming, a jewel reborn. With the paint cured, it was time for the final polish. Wet sanding and buffing removed any imperfections, revealing a deep liquid gloss. The reflection was sharp, a true show-winning shine. Reassembly began. New wheels and tires, polished lights, restored trim, and fresh window seals. Inside, new carpets, a restored dashboard, and reupholstered seats completed the transformation. The Maruti was no longer a bare shell. It was a complete car, better than new. The day had finally arrived. The Maruti Suzuki 800 restoration was complete, and anticipation filled the air. After months of hard work, late nights, and countless cups of chai, the little car that once sat forgotten in a dusty corner was ready for its second life. It stood proudly in the workshop, gleaming in a vibrant red coat, every detail painstakingly restored to perfection. The chrome sparkled, the upholstery looked fresh, and the dashboard shone like new. We carefully rolled it out into the warm Kerala sunlight. Instantly, the paintwork exploded with color, reflecting the lush surroundings and drawing admiring glances from everyone nearby. I slid into the driver's seat, feeling the soft grip of the steering wheel, and turned the key. The rebuilt engine purred to life, smoother and quieter than ever before, a testament to the dedication poured into every nut and bolt. Out on the open road, the car felt tight, responsive, and almost brand new. Every gear shift was crisp, every turn effortless, and the ride was smoother than I remembered from years ago. We cruised through Kerala's rolling tea plantations, the little red Maruti, a vivid splash of color weaving through the endless green hills. The scenery was breathtaking, and the car seemed to belong here, part of the landscape story. This project was about more than just restoration. It was about preserving a piece of automotive history, reviving memories, and honoring the legacy of a true Indian icon. Watching it glide down the road, sun glinting off its flawless paint, was the ultimate reward for all our effort. It was proof that passion and patience can bring even the most forgotten machines back to life. We'd saved a classic, giving it a new lease on life and preparing it for decades of new adventures and stories yet to be written. Another job well done. As we admired our work, we couldn't help but wonder, what's the next project waiting to be reborn?